Live from QVC, America's quality cable shopping channel. Special values and items for the ladies in your life as we present Gifts for Her Clearance.
Hello and welcome back to QVC, everyone. I'm Jeff Houston, and Happy New Year to all who are watching this evening. For the next 2 hours, you'll find a great selection of gifts for her, all at a clearance sale price, and for the last time, I might add. We'll run through everything that we have planned for 2 hours, and let's hope that lasts for 2 hours because most things have been selling out rather quickly. We'll start off with something by Cacharel. This is a beautiful look, too, in a faux pearl design, an ultra-modern look, and a bit of a choker effect at that. Cacharel is a great line of costumes.
Hi, I'm Ted Nugent, and these are my fellow American rock and rollers, and we believe in drug abuse resistance education. What do we believe in?
D.A.R.E!
Yeehaw!
Hi, I'm Penny Phelps, and welcome to Night Beat. Let me be one of the first people to welcome you to 1991. Tonight, what we're going to do is leave Bay City and travel to the Saginaw Civic Center, where we're going to meet the Motor City Madman, yes, Mr. Ted Nugent. He's invited some of the Bay City D.A.R.E students, that's the Drug Abuse Resistance Education students, to come and watch a special sound check. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hey Jason, want some beer? No, I don't like beer. Come on, Jason, don't be a chicken. They're gonna hurt ya. No! Well, if you don't drink, you're gonna tell your parents that you drink anyway. Well, my parents know I wouldn't drink.
Now he's teaching other kids how to say no.
Let me tell you about a time when I was a kid and I was asked to drink. They said they would tell my parents if I didn't drink. I was real scared, but I had the courage to say no.
Last Wednesday, some of our Bay City D.A.R.E Drug Abuse Resistance Education students had the opportunity to visit with the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent, at the Saginaw Civic Center.
Friends and all kinds of weird friends. And I wanted them to invite their friends down, and if anybody was interested to see how the wonderful world of rock and roll shapes up, that you would be welcome to come down and check it out. How long have you all been here today?
3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours? Are you bored too?
Right now I am.
Tough. If I have to be bored, you have to be bored. Well, as you can see, it's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is just a small presentation because this is a smaller facility. But I have a crew of over 25 guys that every night when we do a concert, they have to get there at like 8 o'clock in the morning and start setting my stuff up. And I just lay around and eat bananas and stuff. I don't do any work at all. Like heck. I've been changing my son's diapers all day, I have, you know. But we put this together. I have technicians and specialists who have to know their math real good and have to know geometry real good and have to know all that stuff you learn in school real good so they can hang that stuff up so it doesn't fall down on my head, because I'd have to whack them if they did that. And we will have over $1 million worth of equipment up on that stage tonight. In fact, there'll be $1 million worth of sound and lights and another $500,000 worth of just stuff to make my guitar loud, which is the important part. And my musicians are back there now, drinking hot chocolate and wondering why the heck I brought them out here in the middle of December, or at the end of December. And I do this every year because I'm from Michigan. Are you all from Michigan? Yeah. I'm a Michigan guy. And I just hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a while before we actually start making any noise here. But the reason I invited a lot of you down is because I was 42 years old a couple weeks ago. I know I look 52 with my beard. But one of the reasons I'm still performing here in Saginaw like I did in 1965, how many people here were born before 1965? Come on. See, just the old guys. Just them old, slow-moving folks. The reason I'm still doing it is because, watch carefully. I have never drank, I have never touched a drug, never smoked a joint, never smoked a cigarette in my whole life. And I could outrun any one of you if you want to try. And that's pretty important. At 42, I'm still playing in Saginaw, playing rock and roll. Rock and roll is pretty cool, isn't it? Is it our favorite or what? Just keep buying those tapes, kid. And I think that's real important that I share that with people that don't get to meet the rock and rollers except on stage, you know what I mean? You think that's important? Is that important? You guys see a lot of people like with beers and a lot of people smoking cigarettes. Smells good, doesn't it? And they're not as fast as I am. They're not as cool as I am, that's for damn sure, I'll tell you that. And the reason I'm able to still be performing all these years is because I've kept myself in real good shape, even though I'm real tired right now. I've kept myself in real good shape by not drinking and not taking drugs and smacking people that offered them to me.
Coverage, you have the blemish coverage, and it's
all my life, and by going hunting and fishing and trapping, stuff like that. Cool? Is that cool? Yeah. That's pretty darn cool, I think. So with that in mind, I don't know how much longer it's going to be before we start making some music. It'll probably be quite a while, so it's up to your moms and dads and parole officers and everybody who's there, whether they're going to let you stick around much longer. But if you have any questions, did anybody got any questions? Sir?
Do you really like hunting in Michigan?
Do I like hunting in Michigan? Son, I would hunt at the mall if there was a season. I just love to hunt. I would do sparrow control at the mall if they needed me. I love to hunt in Michigan. I hunt all around the world. You got to realize too that I hunt in Africa and British Columbia and Scotland and Canada and Alaska. But my favorite hunting is what I went hunting this morning, right out my back door. I live right down there. We're over here right now, somewhere like that. A Michigander. I live down the farms down there, and I love to hunt in Michigan. It's good hunting in Michigan. My favorite kind of hunting, probably deer, because they're so fascinating. Like the 16 that got past me last night. I love them. I really do love them. I do. I think the white-tailed deer is just fascinating. Sir?
What's the biggest buck you ever had?
Biggest buck I've ever had? I invited a friend of mine over to hunt at my place one time, and he shot the biggest buck I ever had, so he's not my friend anymore. And no, I've shot some big bucks. I shot a 24-incher in Mexico one time, and I've shot some big bucks with my bow and arrow. But it's not really how big they are. It's how exciting the adventure was. You know what I mean? Anybody else got questions? Yes, sir.
Would you fire anyone that works for you if you found out they were on drugs?
Would I fire anybody who works for me if I found out they were on drugs? After I called the paramedics to fix them, because, yeah, I would. I would throw them out like that. Yes, sir. Always have. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Who were your idols?
Who was my idols when I was growing up? You ever heard of a man named Fred D.A.R.E? Fred D.A.R.E was this guitar player. He played the blues. No. Fred D.A.R.E was a hunter in Michigan, and he was my idol. I had a lot of different idols. Muhammad Ali was an idol of mine. You ever seen a film of Muhammad Ali, the boxer? He is a fascinating human being. I especially liked his big mouth. That was my favorite part. I've had a lot of heroes, but Fred D.A.R.E was probably my biggest hero. And I've had some musical inspirations too, but most of them made terrible mistakes in their lives and got high and died because of drugs and alcohol. So I didn't mention their names because how much can you respect a guy that gags in his own vomit, you know what I mean? Yes, sir.
Have you ever met any other rock and roll stars?
Have I ever met any other rock and roll stars? No, but they've met me, and they're pretty damn lucky. Yeah, I have. I know most of them. You know, I know the guys in Aerosmith and Van Halen and Poison and Guns N' Roses and Bon Jovi and all your favorites. I've never met a Paula Abdul. I think she's scared of me. Yes, sir.
How would a band like this get formed? Would your manager contact?
No, how does a band get formed? A band gets formed the same way a baker starts his own bakery, because everybody loves his delicious baked goods so much that he has no choice. He's got to open a store to sell them. I practiced and learned to bake real good. I mean, play guitar real good. And I learned to play so good that people went, you got to see this guy play. So people would come and see me play, and then we started playing in clubs. And it's the old American dream. If you make a good product, or if you do good work, then your work will be sought out by other people. It doesn't matter what you are. If you're a welder, make your welds last forever. Make them clean and get them on time. You know what I mean? So there's no trick. There's no, you know, don't look for, I've heard this saying, where did your break come? There are no breaks. You either work real hard and learn to play the guitar like a monster, because I am a monster. Did I mention that? I play guitar would scare you. You have to take my word for it. And I practiced so much that I got good enough, people wanted to see me. And then they started paying money, and I made it a business. Yes, sir, back there. Do I who? I'm also deaf because of my guitar.
Do you use the venison from the deer?
Oh, yeah, the venison from the deer? Sure, I'm chewing on some right now. No, yeah, that's all. In fact, at the Nugent house, that's all we eat is the animals that I kill myself. We have ducks and geese and pheasant and quail, rabbit and woodcock and grouse and squirrel and deer and elk and moose and caribou and bison, and we're so full. That's all we eat is what I kill myself, son. Yep. I hunt just to hunt. I mean, if a big one goes by, I'll be glad to, you know, try to shoot that one. But I don't hunt for any other reason other than to just be out there. It's really difficult to tell you why I do it. Yeah, we get the food, and yeah, I got wild stories every time I go out. I can tell you about the hawk that came down and almost got my ponytail, and I can, you know. So there's a million reasons, but I don't know if I'd ever be able to tell you why it is that I hunt. I can't drive down the highway without going, red-tailed hawk. This is a cat chasing some mice down there, red fox. And my wife keeps going, watch the road. It's just something about that life, that outdoors and the animals. It's not for trophies, it's not for food, though I do have trophies and I do get food and I wear the clothes from the animals and I get wild adventures, but there's something much deeper than that. God designed this earth way before he designed this building. In fact, I don't think he had anything to do with this building. And when I hunt, I feel like I'm doing what God originally designed me to do. You know what I mean? Anyone else? Sir. What's it like being a dad now? I've been a dad for 20 years. So it's a pain in the... No. It's great. It's another of God's original design. And I do it so well. I've got a 20-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old daughter, 14-year-old son, and a 18-week-old son. Rocco, yeah. So it feels great. I mean, I can change his diapers with a machete in 6 seconds. It's unbelievable. No, it's a big part of my life. Yes, sir.
Are you on tour a lot?
I'm on tour today. Yeah, I'm on tour a lot.
Do you ever hunt the elephant? Because of the eye surgery?
Every hunt, what now?
Elephant.
Elephant, I've been after elephant, but I was in the Sudan in Central Africa many years ago, and I didn't get to an elephant area. Sir?
When did you start hunting?
When did I start hunting? As soon as I could walk, probably. When I was about 7, 8 years old, of course I walked before that. I was slow, but not that slow. I started hunting as soon as my dad took me hunting, when I was just a little kid. Yeah. You want to say something?
How'd you get the nickname Motor City Madman?
How'd I get the nickname Motor City Madman? Because I'm from Detroit and I'm crazy. No, actually, it was just a nickname I made up when I had a CB radio. You know, you go, break 19, this is the Dove Whacker, and I'm southbound. Well, I used to call myself the Motor City Madman. And somebody from a magazine heard me say that once, and they started writing it up in newspapers, and now everybody calls me that. Yes, sir.
Would you ever do a concert in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, in fact, we asked the government if we could go over there, but they didn't want the Motor City Madman over there. They, I don't know, they're weird over there. You know, the women all hide behind veils and they're not allowed to drive cars. So they thought rock and roll might damage them, and I guarantee it would have. But they could use a little damage the way I see it. Yes, ma'am. When I'm here right now, my whole carload of Nugents just went over to the hotel because they need to rest after driving with me. They do travel whenever it's convenient, whenever the kids aren't in school, and whenever the routing of the different cities is convenient so they don't all get razzled with this schedule, because it can be pretty crazy. You get up every morning, go to the airport. Yes, sir. Real loud now.
Do you ever lose any ills?
Son, someday they're gonna go over with a special infrared detecting device over Jackson County, and it's gonna be like an aluminum mine because of all the arrows I've lost. Because I hunt pheasants and even quail and stuff with arrows, and they're always going. There's a lot of arrows. Yeah, I lose a lot of arrows. But that's one thing about having my own bow hunting business. I get to buy lots of different arrows. But yeah, I lose a lot of arrows. You could build a small town out of the arrows I've lost. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think rock music makes kids want to use drugs?
Do I think rock music makes kids want to do drugs? No, because people were doing drugs way before there was rock music. I think what happens when rock and roll was invented back in the 50s, it was a form of rebellious music. You know, most music was very nice and controlled and pretty, and I hate that. And rock and roll developed from a little bit louder, a little bit more rhythm, you know what I mean? And what happens is people that don't have a sense of control in their life, way before they ever hear the rhythms, way before they ever hear the guitar, if they don't have a sense of control in their lives, they will look for any excuse to be irresponsible. There were some kids that killed each other claiming that they listened to some music by a band called Judas Priest last year. Well, those kids had a history of criminal activity. They had a history of drugs and drinking. Their parents, they had a history of being totally rebellious to their parents and not doing anything they were told to do by teachers or principals, in trouble with the law, in trouble with their own homes. I don't think I'm strong enough or music strong enough, and there's nobody in this room strong enough to make me do anything. Because I'm Ted Nugent and I love me, and I will always do what's best for me regardless of the music I hear or the people that happen to be around. What's your name? Stephanie. You know who should make all your decisions in your life? How old are you, about 12? 10? I would say that as you grow up, your parents are going to help you grow up and make decisions because you're learning at your age. But eventually there's only one person who can ever make a decision in your life, and that's Stephanie. The weather might make you wear an umbrella, take an umbrella with you, and the pressures in your life may make you want to punch a wall. But nobody, no thing can force you to be vicious to yourself, and that's what drugs and alcohol are. So no, music does not make people get high. No way, unless you're an absolute wimp. You know what I mean? Sir. What do I use when I go hunting? I use grenades, hand grenades a lot. The kid went. No, I use a bow and arrow. And sometimes during the firearm season, I use a handgun. But this year, I went completely with the bow and arrow. And if I'm hunting ducks or geese, I use a special shotgun for ducks and geese with steel shot. And I raise hunting dogs, so I take my hunting dogs with me. And depending on what I'm after is depending on what I use. But for big game, I always use the bow and arrow. Yes, sir.
People offer you drugs a lot and thinking that since you're a rock and roll player that you want to.
He asked, did people offer me drugs a lot because people thought if I was a rock and roller, I must want them. Especially since I'm the Motor City Madman and I'm really very much alive and people thought I was a little crazy anyhow. They figured I was already on drugs. And for many years I just said, no, you've got boogers coming out of your nose and you look like a complete idiot and I don't think I want to look like that, so I won't do what you do. And I said no. But then after a while, people would be real belligerent and real forceful, like, ah, well, you've got to do them, come on, you've got to do them, and I'd knock them right on their fanny. You kids have all heard the term peer pressure?
Yeah.
Can someone tell me what peer pressure is? Let me tell you what peer pressure is. It's a lie. You know what peer pressure is for? Sheep. Sheep are so stupid that if the leader of the sheep starts walking down a trail towards a wolf, the rest of them will just stick their noses up the one's butt in front of them and follow him. Because sheep are dumb. That's peer pressure. You're a human being. Just because someone says you're not cool if you don't put a bone through your nose, or you're not cool if you don't take this drug so you can gag in your own puke, what would you go, well, I guess you're right, I think I better try it. There's no such thing as peer pressure. Peer pressure is somebody being a jerk to you. And I said, you know, Bon, I put my arm around him. I said, you know, if I had your voice, I could rule the world, because he had a great voice. And I said, but if you keep drinking that whiskey, you're going to die. That's what I told him. 40 days later, he poisoned himself to death with whiskey. Unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. Are they just dumb? I'm gonna rock and roll tonight and go hunting tomorrow and rock and roll tomorrow and eat a big dinner and burp and have a great time, and they're dead. Did I miss something here? I don't think so. See? Water. Thanks. Yeah, people used to laugh at me. Everybody in the 1960s used to laugh at me because Nugent's not cool. He doesn't even take LSD. How can he see the colors? You know what colors they see? Close your eyes. Close them real tight. That's the color they see. They're dead. They're in the ground. I see all these funny colors on your shirt. D.A.R.E. colors. That's the colors I want to see. You with me? You understand all that? Am I going too fast? Didn't think so. Yes, sir.
What part of Detroit did you grow up?
I grew up near Redford Township. That's over on the west side, near the river. And I used to go hunting all the time. Well, I spent a lot of time in the city when I started my bands. Anybody else? Any moms and dads got any questions? And they know it all, don't they? Yes, ma'am. Inspired me to put my own band together? Because the music drove me wild. I wanted to hear the stuff that Chuck Berry and Elvis Presley was doing. I wanted to hear it, but different than what they made it. So I played my guitar till I bled, literally. I just learned to play the guitar constantly. I took lessons for a couple years, so I learned how to hold it, because I was only 8 years old when I started playing. And I learned the fundamentals, the names of the strings. You should learn, just like when I learned to race cars, I had to learn there's more to it than turning the wheel and smacking the gas pedal. There's little touches that make you a competitive race car driver, and there's little touches that make you a creative sound-making musician. And so I learned the basics, and then that was only 2 years worth, and then I just started hammering out my own stuff, you know. Yes, sir.
When did you get enough money to make all your band up and all that expensive equipment?
When did I make enough money to get all this organized like this? I still haven't yet. I'm borrowing this from Bob Easterbrook tonight. No. I lived off my musical income from the time I was 15 years old. You know, I taught guitar lessons and stuff like that. Yeah, Gene? Cool. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
We want to present you with a D.A.R.E. hat from the
cool.
D.A.R.E. kids from Bay City.
Thank you. Jennifer, right? Stephanie. I always mix up Stephanie and her. Well, thank you very much. That's awful nice of you. Here. Very good.
Inwood Channel 58.
That's great. How's it look, all right?
These people want to do like a 2-minute promo with you for the D.A.R.E.
Right now?
Yeah.
With the whole clan?
Yep.
Okay.
And then she wants to catch a word with you. I don't know what time you're...
I'll do the same thing again. You guys were great, but not so dang loud. No, louder. Ready?
Go ahead, and I'll follow you.
Okay. Are you running? Because I don't see a red light.
All right.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ted Nugent, and these are my fellow American rock and rollers, and we believe in drug abuse resistance education. What do we believe in? D.A.R.E! Yeehaw!
Up next is the crime report, and from the Bay City Police Department, we'll be hearing from Officer Tim Weiler. Take it away, Tim.
Good evening. This is my time for the crime report. Thanks, Penny. First crime report for 1991, and I'm going to talk about December. During December, we had our usual crimes, many Christmas lights stolen, we had home burglars, we had cars broken into. The highlights of our crimes, though, include 2 shootings and an armed robbery. The first incident I'd like to talk about happened on December the 12th at about 6 p.m. It happened at the Second National Bank, corner of Lafayette and Michigan. A man and his wife went to the bank to use the automatic teller machine. While she was in using the machine, 2 subjects approached their van and stood outside the van. When the wife came out, they pulled a gun and demanded money. The victims gave these subjects the money, but when they did, they shot the husband. He's doing okay, shots to the stomach. We're still looking for these subjects. Second incident happened, it was a shooting that happened about 11:30 at night in the 400 block of 18th Street. A man went outside to look for his kitten. When he did, he saw 3 subjects leaving an apartment house on Franklin Street. As they approached him, one of the subjects yelled, "Get out of here." The man turned and went up his steps and was about going into his front door when one of the subjects then yelled, "It's too late." Just then some shots rang out. The man was hit in the leg with some pellets from what's suspected to be a shotgun. Also through his storm door, a hole was shot, believed to be a large caliber pistol. We have no suspects in this incident either. The third incident happened on December the 19th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's an armed robbery that happened at the opening to an alley that empties onto 9th Street between Jefferson and Adams. The young man was walking through this alley when 2 black males approached him, demanded money. They showed a gun that was in their belt, and the man gave them their money and they left. The Bay City Police Department is concerned about all crime that happens in Bay City, especially crimes that involve weapons and people being hurt. These crimes that I talked about tonight are all under investigation. If anyone has any information that can help us, please call the Bay City Police Detective Bureau. Most of all, though, please be aware that these things do happen in Bay City. Don't take any chances that might put your life in jeopardy. That's it for the crime report. I'm told we have to give our New Year's resolutions now. My first resolution is that I'm going to lose the 10 pounds that I've gained since Thanksgiving, and my second resolution is I'm going to try and be more prepared for projects that I'm working on. I'm going to turn it over to Officer Dave Mayott from the Essexville Public Safety Department now. Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Officer Mayott with the Essexville Public Safety Department, and here's our first crime report for 1991. But I'm going to be talking about some things that happened in December of 1990. Again, as Bay City had quite a few larcenies involving Christmas ornaments and items, we also experienced the same thing. We've had a lot of tree lights, we've had Santas, we've had wreaths, we had a lot of things missing. Yes, Santa was stolen as well this year during December. And we're still looking for Santa, and hopefully he'll be returned to the rightful owner. There again, you know, that's the time of year, and I guess you can't prepare for anything like that because these items are usually left outdoors. But try to keep some lights out during this time of year. That usually deters people to come in and to steal anything. Most thieves do not like the light. Okay. My three items I'd like to talk about are larcenies, again from vehicles. The first one happened December 11th, 1990, and it was reported to our department at 10 o'clock in the morning in the 700 block of Burns. Between the hours of 10 o'clock on December 10, 90, and also 8 o'clock that morning on December 11th, 1990. The vehicle was parked in a driveway, locked. It was a van. Taken from that van was a pyramid graphic equalizer valued around $200. The equalizer was gold with black controls. It's believed that there is a serial number, but we do not know it at this time. Also, there was no damage to the vehicle, so entry was gained through a locked door. It is unsure at this time how. Okay, second complaint we had on the same day was on December 11th, 1990. It was reported to our department at 5:40 p.m. In the 400 block of Burns Street. There also larceny occurred from a Pontiac Fiero. Taken there sometime during the night of 12/10 of 1990, someone entered the vehicle that was locked and parked and stole a Kenwood AM/FM cassette player from the dash. Approximate value $550. We also do not have a serial number at this time. Subject or subjects also did quite a bit of damage to the vehicle shift column. Unknown how much damage. We feel at this time that both incidents were related. So our third item tonight and last item is it occurred on December 13th, 1990. There too another larceny from an auto. It was reported to our department at approximately 1:40 p.m. at 515 Woodside of the Chambers Body Auto Shop. There, a vehicle was held in a holding yard, which was fenced in at this address. The vehicle was a 1988 Pontiac Le Mans. This vehicle was there for repairs, and unknown how long it had been there. It was there for an extended amount of time, so we're not too sure when this larceny actually occurred. Taken was a Pioneer AM/FM stereo, valued at $150. Again, we are receiving a lot of these larcenies from automotives, and we feel that all these larcenies are connected in some way. We don't feel there's a dozen people out there doing all these larcenies. We feel it's one or two people. There again, if you have any information on these complaints or any of the other complaints that Bay City or what Hampton's going to talk about, please call any of our departments. We'll make sure the information gets passed on. Being at New Year's and New Year's resolutions, everybody has one, myself as well. My resolution this year is to be a little bit more time-oriented in time management, to make time and to be there on time when I say I'm going to be there. And that's it for my crime report. And if you have any information, call 892-2541, our department, and someone will take your call. Thank you. Have a good New Year's.
Last week for Dan Diamond, the super sleuth of sorts, we had 12 callers. 6 of you called in with the correct answer. And the answer was, Juan Don told Dan Diamond that he was shooting triple 22s on the dartboard. Well, there is not a number 22 on the dartboard, so Juan Don was obviously lying. I've got a hat full of correct callers. We'll reach in, we'll draw out a winner. And our winner is Brian Woods. Brian Woods. Brian, you need to contact us at 892-5900, and we'll tell you how you get your free Night Beat coffee mug and 1 month free premium cable channel courtesy of Bresnan Communications. Warm up your recliners, all you lazy boy detectives, because it's time for Dan Diamond.
Come on in. Hello. Pull up a chair. My name's Diamond, Dan Diamond. I'm a super sleuth of sorts. You've obviously been dealt a bad hand. Well, don't worry. I, Dan Diamond, can take care of your troubles. It's like the sign on the door says, been dealt a bad hand, we'll even the odds. First, let me tell you about the last person that sat in that chair. Her name was Cindy Sue. Cindy Sue Yu. She tiptoed in here with a glass of water in one hand and 2 Excedrins in the other. It was obvious that she had tried to ring in the new year, and now her head was ringing. I, Dan Diamond, was experiencing a similar sensation. Cindy Sue sat. She spoke softly and said,
Mr. Diamond, you've just got to help me. My head is pounding and my pappy's in jail. My pappy, Pappy Louie, is in jail. He's in jail in New York. Them New York City cops said he robbed a store on New Year's Eve. Why, it just isn't true, Mr. Diamond. My pappy was with me on New Year's Eve. Me and a million other people. You see, we were standing in Madison Square Gardens watching the big ball drop so we could ring in the new year. We stood there and counted down with everyone else, and then we celebrated. My pappy was with me. He couldn't have robbed some Mickey old store. You've just got to believe me.
Cindy Sue and Pappy Lou both had been involved in a stick-up, so to speak. Cindy Sue had tried to stick up for her pappy after he had pulled a stick-up. She was lying. I, Dan Diamond, could tell. I specialize in these things. I'm a super sleuth of sorts. Remember, there may be snow on the roof, but there's still fire in the chimney. That's another story.
This portion of the show, we're going to leave you with my New Year's resolution. You've heard them from everyone else. My resolution this year is to get my police uniforms to the dry cleaners on time so that I can pick them up over the holidays and have them on when I'm taping this show. Sorry, Chief. Folks, it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in on Tuesday, January 22nd, same channel, 7 o'clock p.m. for another episode of Night Beat.